So it looks like Ed Piskor's tale finally reached the UK. The Daily Mail just ran an article on the 27th about Ed Piskor's passing and the bullying he received online. What's funny about the Daily Mail article, and this is part of the UK's journalistic guidelines, is they don't name names. They don't name Molly Dwyer in this article. They refer to her, the 17-year-old girl that accused him of grooming her. Um, and they don't name anybody else that Ed Piskor named on his letter. Like they don't name Alex de Campi, they don't name Ramon Villalobos or Evan Dorkin. They don't name anybody else. All those names are left out in this article, and they just refer to them simply as internet bullies. It's very weird, the UK guidelines, because it reminds me of the incident last year at the hockey game where Adam Johnson was killed by Matt Petgrave, and we all saw it on camera. Like it happened live. There was no doubt that Petgrave killed Adam Johnson. And when you read the article in the UK about the incident, not only did they not name Petgrave as the killer, but they didn't say the incident took place in the game. It's weird the way that article was written. And I'm like, you're reading it and you're like, I mean, we all saw Petgrave kill the guy. It's not debatable. Petgrave killed Adam Johnson. But the way the article was written, it made it seem like it was some kind of mysterious murder and that a suspect was taken into custody. You know, the UK guidelines are very weird when it comes to naming names. It was like one of the most bizarre articles that I ever read. So it's not out of the ordinary for an article like the Daily Mail, in this case of writing about Piskor, to leave out very specific names. But you know what didn't leave a name out? Alex de Campi's Wikipedia page, shockingly enough, on Alex de Campi's Wikipedia page, and a section was added for the Ed Piskor situation. And yeah, they acknowledged that she was named in Piskor's final letter. And I'm shocked that this was added onto the Campi's Wikipedia page. And I'm pretty sure that this page may face another edit. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that she's going to have her people remove this blurb, and they'll come up with reasons why. So you're looking at it right now. This is in the Wikipedia page that in Alex de Campi's Wikipedia page, that yeah, she was named in Piskor's final letter as one of the people that bullied him to death. I'm sure she's not going to be happy about that. Books are still being put out there with Alex de Campi's name on it, including this one called Scrapper by Image Comics, the same Image that a lot of independent comics today try to mirror. But again, no shame in putting her name out there and promoting her works, despite the fact that, as you see now in the Wikipedia page, she was one of Ed Piskor's alleged named bullies that drove him to suicide. You still got people that are reminding the community out there that her name is attached to Piskor's passing, and nobody seems to be batting an eye on that. There seems to be a connection between what happened with the bullies in the comic industry who drove Piskor to passing and comic sales now. I was at a convention today as of this recording, so if you're listening to it, you're probably hearing this recording the next day. But I was at a convention away from the Twitter nonsense and just interacting with people and not going back and forth and arguing with people, just enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying being around like-minded nerds, if you will. But what I've noticed is that there seems to be all but a lack of interest for floppies, comics in general. In a comic book convention, less comics were bought, and more people seem to have bought Funko Pops. They bought all kinds of weird little trinkets. I seen girls with multicolored hair buying things that weren't comic related, but they were buying things. It's just, if you were a man with a long box, or you had a graphic novel, or if you had like stacks of floppies from like yesteryear, you weren't moving those out of stock. In a comic convention, you were moving those out of stock. That wasn't going to happen. And I even had a gentleman come to me and say he would trade me some of his floppies for a copy of my graphic novel, Street Champion Road Warrior Drake. And I told him, listen, I don't collect floppies anymore, and my books are kind of expensive to print, so I would like to get money for them just to at least offset the cost of the printing. But yeah, nobody's buying floppies. Nobody's going to people's long boxes, and it just reminded me, comics are very disposable. Not to say that if you buy a comic in a nice, beautifully presented format, that it's doomed for the trash heap. You can get a lot of beautiful hardcovers. I recently got a hardcover for the Peter Parker Mary Jane wedding album, all the comics that were produced from the time that he proposed to her, and all the adventures leading up to their marriage, and the wedding and the honeymoon. I got a very beautifully packaged hardcover edition of those stories. There's definitely value in that. A hardcover gives a prestige to books. It really does. It increases its value, and people just want a hardcover. But yeah, I'm seeing it with my own eyes. Floppies are no longer in demand. People, they'll just rather throw it away. There's no value for it. The internet has killed floppies. Reprints have killed floppies. And I honestly think that Alex de Campi and Ramon Villalobos and all those people may have killed floppies. Because when Piskor went to the grave, so did the enthusiasm for comics. And I really think it's up to creators, in addition to reporting the stuff on Piskor and reporting what these people have done to the comic industry and how they've infected it with their venomous cancer, it's also incumbent upon those same people to try to reinvigorate the enthusiasm for comics. Maybe not so much floppies, but stories that are motivational, inspirational, aspirational. The aspirational part is what's missing in comics today. It's you pick up a book and you want to read it and you want to be inspired. You want to be moved to great heights to do good for people. But you pick up these books and all you get from that is, wow, these people hate me. The people that write these books actually kind of hate me. Why did I pay you a dime for this again? Why did I go to the store and decide that you were worth the investment? I don't want to be one of those to say that comics is a dying medium, but it's really hurting right now. And I did mention the J. Scott Campbell Spider-Man covers in a previous video, as well as the Transformers comics that is being put out there by Image Press. But outside of that, there's no real excitement for comics. We more stores are closing. Conventions are, as I've seen now with my own eyes, they're failing. They're hurting really badly. And so much so that comic shop owners are speaking out more so than ever. They're not holding back anymore. This gentleman here, Glenn O'Leary, when he spoke out and said that the new writers do not have the love of comics like the older writers, he put it as blunt as you can possibly put it. This new current crop of writers like Ramon Villalobos and Tom King, Alex de Campi, Brian Michael Bendis, like these people, like Ta-Nehisi Coates, you read their writings and there's no aspiration in them. It's a lecture. They're lecturing down to you because they hate you. You're beneath them, so they want to transform you. They want to recondition your mind, brainwash you. If nothing else, make you filled with so much self-hatred that you may just become another Ed Piskor and just off yourself. And when this Glenn O'Leary spoke out, he got a lot of shit from a lot of these people, a lot of these writers. Ramon Villalobos, the racist who hates white people, was one of those that body shamed this guy, insulted him, and all he did was tell the truth about the current state of comics. The comic shop owners are feeling it. They're losing their livelihood because comics today suck, because these writers with dark souls are putting their sick, twisted agenda in these books. And it's like a self-defeating prophecy, because they're killing the only outlets. Ramon Villalobos, Alex de Campi, Evan Dorkins, these people, they're killing the only outlets that'll buy their shitty books. Because without the comic shops, who's going to buy their shitty books directly? Your audience is dwindling. People are going to be more exposed, again, thanks to Wikipedia, because not even Wikipedia is reporting on how you're tied, how Alex de Campi and the rest of them are tied to Piskor's self-deletion. There's no escaping this. And again, I'll be curious to see how long this page stays up. And if it ever gets removed, I'll do a follow-up video on this. But as you can see, this isn't photoshopped. So I'm scrolling up and down. So this is definitely a part of her page for sure. So it is listed on her page. So when people go to Alex Campi's Wikipedia page, they're going to see that she was named Ed Piskor's final note and that she had a hand in Piskor's demise. There's no escaping that. There's absolutely no escaping that. And it's not going to end with Piskor, and it's certainly not going to end with a human being. Shops are closing. Comic shop owners who are still tied to these people, they're facing a lot of backlash for speaking out. They're being told, no, toe the line and stop telling the truth because we still want to put our shit out there. And if it means you close your shop, well, unfortunately, that's collateral damage. But very few are going to be silent. More are going to speak out. And it's going to come to a point where if you as a comic shop aren't adapting and turning your back rooms into game rooms for Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or all these tabletop games that are dominating these rooms, if you're not adapting and becoming like those rooms, you're going to just close shop for good. And that's it. And that's one less outlet for the Campi, Villalobos, and all those people to put their shit out there. And some people hate the comic industry so much that they're willing to let that happen because it means that those people don't get their outlet and then they get suffocated. And while that's one way to look at it, the other way to look at it is gone will be the place where comic fans congregate and just talk the shit about books and favorite characters or other things. That's going to be a part of American culture that gets robbed for our next generation. Because our next generation, not only are they're not going to be exposed to that, but they're not going to care about it. I saw it firsthand today at the comic convention that I was in. There isn't much enthusiasm for comics. The enthusiasm is dying. And a lot of people aren't being honest about how they're reporting the situation. They're not being honest about what happened. Again, with the Daily Mail, and I get that they're tight-lipped. I get that they're strangled by weird UK journalistic laws regarding naming suspects. It's still weirdly written, and it's just it puts a stranglehold on the information, and people that read those outlets, that depend on those outlets, don't get the full story, and they come away with, well, I guess that happened. Sucks to be Ed, but it happened. But they don't get the full story, and they don't get the names of the people associated with the story that contributed to the outcome. So if this Wikipedia page doesn't change, then people will have an opportunity to see from a quote-unquote reputable source. I say quote-unquote because Wikipedia can be altered to say anything you want it to say, but it is here, and they do have the footnotes linking to Ed Piskor's final note, his Facebook page with the final note. So you can verify as a reader that, yes, this is information that is verified by the source that it's quoting. You go to this page and you can see that, yes, Alex de Campi, as per Ed Piskor, had a hand in his demise. And whether you believe she did or didn't, her name is going to be forever tied to this controversy. And yes, it should be forever tied. And yes, you should always discuss this and share this and talk about it, because the shoe was on the other foot and they had no problem throwing him under the bus and tarring his name and smearing it with these allegations that were provably false. But these people had a hand in destroying the comic industry. They're killing it. And I know I said in previous videos, let it die. Let it die. It needs to go, because that's the only way you're going to suffocate these people and push them out of irrelevance. There are very few outlets that are left. They're killing those outlets. They're suffocating them. Those outlets are closing shop. And when they speak out, they mark them with body shaming tactics. That's what the Campi and all those people do. They will body shame you if you disagree with what they say. They already probably had no problem smearing a man's name with false accusations and pushing him to his end. They had no problem doing that. So they will spare no expense to use any tactics to destroy you if you speak out against him. This is provable. And I think when people visit Alex de Campi's page on Wikipedia, provided it doesn't get altered, they're going to see this and they're going to go down a rabbit hole. They may see videos by your boy Zach, or maybe videos by myself. And they're going to see, oh, wow, this is not a good woman. She's actually a very bad woman. Very cold-hearted, very apathetic, weaponizes victimhood, destroys men. Yeah, she's not a good woman at all. And her work is being not targeted. Her work is being exposed as written at the hands of somebody who was named on someone's final note as a murderer. My words, Piskor's words. I'm just reporting it. And we're nearing the end of April. We're going to begin May now soon in a couple of days. It's going to be 1 month since Piskor's passing. And what has changed since then? Has anything changed? Have we moved on? Have we taken the steps to move away from this and change the dynamics in comics or the atmosphere? Someone in one of my comments in the previous video said this isn't going to happen overnight, and nothing happens overnight except driving a man to his end. Let me repeat that. Nothing happens overnight except driving a man to his end. We're going to make excuses for not making changes overnight, but we're going to be okay with someone ending his life overnight because reasons. Because, it didn't happen to me. No, it didn't happen to me. So why should I care how it moves? And why should I have any feeling or investment towards changes because it didn't happen to me, right? But we should be okay with a man ending his life overnight because reasons. And it's that kind of defeatist attitude that empowers people like the Campi and Villalobos and all these cruel, apathetic, and monstrous people that hate you. And make no mistake, they absolutely hate you. I showed it in my Ramon Villalobos video. He hates white people, and he can go back and say, well, I was just joking, or I have white friends. That doesn't change the fact that he's made constant references, anti-white references, with no shame. That is what he thinks of white people. You think Alex Campi cares about the innocence of a man? Of course not. I guarantee you to this day, she would still weaponize Molly Dwyer's words and Molly Wright's words against Ed Piskor. I guarantee you that she has not repented of that. And again, as long as this Wikipedia page doesn't change, people are now going to go and they're going to see that, yeah, she is now forever tied to Piskor's end because he named her in his final note. Now, Evan Dorkin, another one who was named in Piskor's final note, so far his page has not been altered, but he's also been very quiet. He hasn't been as animated and public about his feelings towards Piskor like Ramon Villalobos and Alex Campi is, which is probably why he hasn't received as much accountability for his part in Piskor's end. But his page does not mention the Piskor note, and I checked, and Ramon Villalobos doesn't have a Wikipedia page, so we're gonna wait and see, I guess, if these people get their day in the day of reckoning, if that happens, if they get their day of reckoning. So that's all. Those are all my thoughts on the matter. But I talked about the lack of enthusiasm for comics, but that doesn't mean that I don't have enthusiasm. I'm currently producing my second book, Be Citizen Road Warrior Drake, my second graphic novel in the 3-book art of Road Warrior Drake. And I did make one sale today, Sunday, of course, at the convention that I was in. I made a sale with a hardcover book. So one sale is good enough for me. That's one more fan that I've gained and one more customer and someone enthused about books. So I'm not just doing videos where I talk about the bad side of comics and the cruel monsters that work in it. I do also make books, and I do also express my love and encouragement of it. And I noticed that a lot of people who are fans want to gravitate towards that kind of aspiration, that love, enthusiasm for the art. They're still there. They're like wandering like immigrants, migrating in the wilderness right now. Comic book fans are in the wilderness right now. And it's up to creators to actually lure them in with their own enthusiasm and fun for books. And that means not talking shit about race of people or the gender of people. It actually means talking about your characters, your books, your stories, and sharing that and getting people's minds and wallets watering for those books. But I guess we'll see if that happens and if the tide turns. No, I'm not expecting an overnight change, but I am expecting something. And right now, what I'm seeing, outside of some people on Twitter who are holding a bunch of creators, publishers, shop owners accountable for still patronizing Alex Campi, Ramon Villalobos, and the like, there really isn't much going on out there. There's not much reporting out there. on this, and this is concerning because a lot of what is being taught to me is very, very irrelevant, extremely irrelevant. But thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.